Hey everybody, how's it going? Gotcake here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a game called Super Bit Blaster XL. Remember to hit that like button if you enjoy the review, and subscribe to the channel to see more reviews of the best and worst of those lesser known Switch indie titles. So the original Bit Blaster XL came out in January 2016 on Steam to overwhelmingly positive reviews, but lately I've not had much luck with games with Super in the title, so we'll have to see how this one goes. When compared to the original, Super Bit Blaster XL features sharper graphics, better visual effects, and 2-player versus or co-op support. The game is a retro-themed arcade-style shmup with a focus on high-score chasing. As we drop into the game, we can first select between 1 and 2 players. In this review I'll only be focused on single-player gameplay since I don't have any friends, but hopefully it'll give you a feel for the general gameplay mechanics. After selecting your number of players, you're then taken to the ship selection menu. In addition to the default ship, there are 7 other ships in total to unlock, and as you play the game you'll collect coins from destroying enemies which can then be used to purchase these ships. They come in various shapes and sizes, each with their own stats as indicated by the icons above each ship. From left to right we can see that the default ship has 2 fire rate, 2 movement speed, and begins the game with 1 shield and 2 bombs. In comparison, the third ship is larger in size and moves and fires slower, but also begins with 3 shields, which is helpful when you're terrible at avoiding enemies. Additional shields can also be picked up as power-ups as you play. Before starting a game, we can also select whether to have auto fire on or off. Leaving auto fire on in the game removes the need for you to manually fire your weapon. This reduces the number of buttons you need to press, but there's no way to stop firing once you begin a game. You have an ammo count in the game shown in the top left corner, and each shot reduces your ammo. There are also several different weapon power-ups you can pick up, and each one uses up a different amount of ammo each time you fire. Enemies that you destroy in game drop these small green plus symbols which are additional ammo. But some weapons, such as the flamer, can deplete your ammo rapidly, which means that auto fire might not be the best option if you want to have more control over your ammo conservation. With auto fire turned off, you have to press the right trigger to fire, and depending on the ship that you select, sometimes there appears to be a bit of a delay. So as you begin a game, things start off at a leisurely pace, with a few asteroid looking objects floating about the screen. What's immediately noticeable is that, unlike asteroids, in this game your ship will continuously fly in the direction that it's facing. You're able to use your boost to slow down or speed up your ship, but this will use some of your boost meter, which gradually regenerates on its own, or can be completely filled by picking up a boost power up. After about a minute you'll begin to encounter your first enemy spaceships. These slowly travel across the screen and fire a single shot towards you every few seconds. This is where you're going to have to begin to focus on prioritising targets, as the next enemy to show up will be these big fat rockets. The red glow of these enemies increases in frequency until they finally explode, sending out a bunch of projectiles in all directions, so it's important to try and destroy these enemies as soon as they appear. The game features quite a wide variety of enemies, from the simple enemies that I've just covered, to enemies that fire projectiles that home in on you, and black holes that steadily increase in size, eating up anything that crosses the path. Gameplay becomes more hectic the longer you survive, and things can quickly become overwhelming if you aren't prioritising enemies. When this happens, it's time to use a bomb, which clears the screen of all enemies and projectiles. Bear in mind though that you've got a limited supply of these, so you need to use them wisely. But power-ups appear occasionally which provide 1 additional bomb when picked up. As mentioned earlier, there are many different weapon power-ups which appear at random as you play, providing a number of different effects. On average these last for around 30 seconds and only one can be active at one time, meaning that when you pick up another one, it'll replace the current active power-up. The majority of them will change the way your ship fires in some way, and some are more useful than others. There are single projectile power-ups such as the through shot which continues through enemies, bounce shots which ricochet off the stage walls, and explode shots which after travelling a short distance or making contact with an enemy will explode, destroying anything in its blast radius. Some power-ups completely change your ship's firing mechanics, such as the laser and flame shots, which are incredibly powerful but only have a short range. And lastly, there are power-ups which don't change your standard shots, but instead provide other unique effects. The shield power-up, for instance, provides a rotating shield of projectiles around your ship. These will destroy anything that they come into contact with, and the rotation speed of them is increased and decreased with your boost. The magnet power-up attracts ammunition towards you, and the homing power-up continually fires shots which home in on the nearest enemy. Lastly, the trail power-up lays a continual trail of mines behind your ship which will destroy anything that makes contact with them. Each game can end in one of 2 ways. Firstly, when you get hit by an enemy and you have no shields left, or secondly when your ship collides with the edge of the gameplay area. Once the game is over, you can then take a look at the leaderboard to see where your high score sits in comparison to other players, and then you can choose to play again either with the same or a different ship. So now for my verdict on the game. Well, I mentioned at the start about my recent experiences of games with Super in the title, but in this case the Super is warranted and gets a pass. I had an absolute blast playing the game, and each game felt different. There was some great variation in both power-ups and enemies, and the different ships had enough of an impact on gameplay to make you want to unlock them all and test them out. The controls in the game were responsive, and even when things got a bit manic and the screen became a bit cluttered with enemies and particle effects, I didn't notice any FPS or gameplay slowdown. The difficulty curve of the game also felt fair, with success persistently hinging on fast reactions, target prioritisation, and skillful use of the boost mechanics to manoeuvre the ship through the carnage. For a rating, I'd give Super Bit Blaster XL 4 out of 5 stars. It's a great example of how arcade high score games should be done, and though I never got to play the 2-player mode, in single player mode there was nothing that I could really fault it for. You can get the game now for the Switch for £3.19 on the UK eStore, or on the US eStore where its usual price of $3.99 is currently discounted down to $2.79. Alternatively, you can also pick the game up on the Steam store for £2.2p. And that's it for this review of Super Bit Blaster XL. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please show your appreciation with a thumbs up. While you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel if you want to be notified of future reviews and videos. For now though, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching, and until next time, game on.